So we and you have all heard plenty of statistics on the cybersecurity market. I'm not going to go through that. I want to just really bring it home by asking you this question, which we ask a lot of people. What's the percentage of organizations that with traffic going to sites with malware? If you can click the slide, what would that percentage be? If you click it again, that would be 100%. Basically, everyone is having malware attacks. In fact, they say there's two types of organizations: those that know that they've been attacked and those that don't know that they've been attacked. So the question then is, what's going to change? Actually, the question should be what's not going to change, because what we do know is the following. Click. There are three key drivers changing the technology landscape. There's the cloud, which has been with us for over a decade, mobile, and with the onset of 5G, and now the real hockey stick kick in the Internet of Things. So we're not just talking about people anymore. We're talking about things being at the mercy of cyber attack. And what we've seen in 2020 with COVID is a rapid acceleration of digitization, which has been going on for a decade or more, but obviously it's had a real injection of steroids in the last 9 months. So we see that increasing. As a result of that, we see business risk increasing, complexity increasing, the usage of those three trends increasing, and at the same time, increasing skill shortage. That is not going to change anytime soon. Click. This slide comes from your industry. Momentum, which is a venture capital organization based in San Francisco, put out this slide every year. This is May 2020. And these are logos operating in the cybersecurity market, sub-segmented. And as you can see, this is highly complex. It's complex for end users to choose which is the best product to stop that particular attack. It's incredibly complex for service providers to work out which services and which products they should be using to serve their customers. And that complexity ain't going away. In fact, Momentum will tell you that there are something like 9 new startups a month. If you look at some of Cisco's customers, where I was for 21 years, that we had customers there with over 50 vendors in one organization. On average, at the top end of town, more than 10 vendors. A highly complex situation. So now let's talk about how that, if you can forward the slide, please, sets us up to first wave strategy. Forward the slide, please. Every single organization, be they large or small, have got to deal with this problem before, during, and after an attack. Now, if you can forward, click on the slide. The IT infrastructure is comprised of all of these components. There's the network. There's the endpoint that you're using right now. The internet that we're all using. Email, which we've been using for decades. There's the data center, which is not just now private cloud. We've got public cloud. It's highly, highly vulnerable, and that attack vector is only amplified. Click. So big picture, what we're trying to do is we're trying to protect our workforce. That's you and me. Our workplace, wherever we are, and of course that's spread out now. We're all working from home as well. And the workload, which has become increasingly more complex as our applications have moved from not just within the corporate, closed entity, if you will, but into the public cloud, and not just in one public cloud, but into multiple public clouds. Now, if you can forward the slide, you can just imagine this same problem is there at the top end of town, in enterprise, keep going, in government, small business, home office. Every single organization on earth has got this problem. And that is precisely the problem that First Wave is setting out to solve. Now, let's just take a look at our customer here, which is the service provider. They see a massive opportunity. So they're going to provide email security services using Cisco, firewall services at the top there, from Fortinet, say, endpoint security from Trend, and that's all wonderful, except it starts getting complicated, seriously complicated. Click, please. So the aim now is to think about how can we help those service providers increase revenue and save costs. Click. And we do that in the First Wave platform by simplifying the operation, automating the operation and thereby enabling them to scale. They can scale across far more services and far more customers. And all the time addressing not just the enterprise market, but all the way down to home office as well. So now if we pop open the bonnet, if you can click the slide, please, and let's look at inside the First Wave platform. What does it have that is so extremely valuable to service providers? And I can tell you, coming into First Wave in the last few months, I haven't seen anything like this that is so, I guess, focused on the security services market. So from one pane of glass, the operator can look at all of the services they're providing, all of their customers. It's multi-tenant. So each individual customer thinks they're getting their own personalized service, which they are, but it is completely firewalled and completely segmented from the next customer and the next customer and their next customer. Benefit to the service provider, economies of scale. They can white label it. So Telstra takes the First Wave platform and puts their own badge on it. It's open. You saw logos up at the top. There was email from Cisco and firewalls from Palo and Fortinet. And as the market evolves and innovates, and it's going to innovate, that's one of the things that we know is not going to change. The service provider can still maintain the First Wave platform, but bring on all of these new vendors as it sees fit, enabling far more flexible delivery. And the top right-hand side, one of probably the most important elements for a service provider is their ability to bill. You can have all the services in the world, but if you can't bill the customer, you're going to go backwards real quick, right? So I won't go through all of these capabilities in the First Wave platform, but suffice to say that I have personally never seen a platform so feature-rich, so focused on security service provision for service providers as I have seen in the First Wave platform.